The summary of what Inspire revealed. Oh my god, everybody get your popcorn. It's time. You're out getting cookies. You're out getting DoorDash, whatever the fuck it is. Why would you be out getting DoorDash? And you want to get on me about technically being 30 minutes late. I giving this team my everything I have. Hopping is only... Because I'm here 2 hours early every day. I streamed 5 hours this morning. We were screaming at each other. And he goes, get the fuck out. And I was like, get out. Pack my shit and get out of the facility. He's like, yeah. Calling my general manager, get the fuck out. I'm down and was like, all right, just being sure. You want me to pack up and leave, even though we have scrims and a match tomorrow. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And he's still, yes, get out. Bro, that's 10% of the shit max. Okay. Doesn't this like quite literally... Okay, this is all Inspire stuff only. Okay. All right, next slide. Should I read this or should you guys read this? Anyway, I got Stunner a fucking job as a coach. I mentored these guys to an Ascension win. I could not have done it without them. I think Stunner was a great coach. I think we maybe still would have got there, but he made it a lot easier. Anyone on the team who gets in and cries, you guys are paid to play the game. I play ranked now, paying $5,000 rent. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Paying $5,000 rent, that is not normally. Like, $5,000 rent is definitely not normally. I didn't even want to come here because this shit was happening with Envy. I texted people. I texted Jogmo, yo, I'm not going to play for this team. You got a spot over there. No, you don't. I'm not going to play for this team. Bro, that is like a pretty big self-report, by the way, because you can't be talking to other players about like, do you got a spot over there? Yeah, that's a self-report, guys. You like as players and as coaches, you can't talk to other players about trying to join their team. Spot for the team or the apartment? Well, he says, I mean, I guess you could extrapolate it that way. Not really. But he says, I'm not going to play for this team. I think he's just saying, like, you get paid to play the game. And then he's just saying that he plays ranked with, like, sitting in a $5,000 rent apartment. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he's talking in regards to the team, not his apartment. Anyway. And then the contract money made sense to go play, but then the contract lasted 2 months, and then I'm on bench salary. Okay, that's pretty depressing. If he's on like bench salary paying $5,000 in rent per month, that's fucked up. That is actually fucked up. Bro, LA, $5,000 of rent. I'd say that like, bro, he'd have to live in like a 2-bedroom or something like that. Like he'd have to live in a very nice 2-bedroom to even make the rent go that high. Like an extremely nice 2-bedroom at that. Y'all get to play on stage, play the game, and get paid to do it. I don't empathize with any of you because you sit in chairs you did not earn, and you didn't make a good enough attempt to earn those chairs on stage with us. Wait, what? Spire says they would have picked up Curry to play in VCT. Stunner and Rossi were DMing for the last 2 years. This kid was on the team before he was on the team. He was definitely not the first option, but he was a good option. Curry to me was our best option, but then he had wrist problems, so... When Curry is like, oh, I can't play because of my wrist, it doesn't matter who else trialed. Rossi was already going to make this team. Kesnet was already signed before we even trialed him. So the 2 trials were already set the moment Curry can't play. Curry could have played. I would have died on that hill. That is our pickup. Is anybody else confused about like the trajectory of this conversation? How did we end up here? I think Curry's actually pretty good. Curry's pretty good, but the problem is, yeah, you did have like really bad wrist problems, so he just like could not play. Kind of a fucked up situation. Wait, so it just sounds like the whole situation with Envy was mismanaged, but I feel like we all already knew that. He said that he thought they had warm up at 12 and VOD review at 12:30, but it was actually the other way around. My question is, who the fuck warms up for VOD review? Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense logically, yeah. Who does warm up for VOD review? No, I actually agree though. It's like, it is weird. Think about it. From his POV, he came, or like, he's one of the OGs of the team. This is his team from his perspective, Inspire. This is his team. He built this shit from the ground up. And then a guy comes in that has like, I mean, Rossi's kind of like, Rossi is very like, he's an interesting character for sure. If he does come into this team, kind of like with the ego of like, I own the team now, it's his team now. And he kind of built that shit. That is kind of crazy. Like, to be fair, that is kind of crazy. And if it's in part because Rossi's already like buddy with the coach, like that, yeah. I mean, that is kind of a weird dynamic to like fall into. It's a crazy weird dynamic. Wasn't that in interviews, by the way? Like Rossi was saying that he's like not going to like his persona that he will have like in front of the rest of his team for this year is just going to be like the likable guy or whatever. Like he's just not like putting on his like real opinions or being like truly open and honest. Like, didn't he outright say that in interviews? Pretty sure he did. And like, to be honest, I think that there's in no world that you are a successful team do you ever become a successful team unless you are open and honest with your teammates. If you're just this agreeable guy, full yes man mode, and I'm not going to shout out any teams in particular. But I know of teams in the VCT that this same thing happens where everybody's a yes man. And I've been part of teams where people are yes men, and I'm the only person that's like contesting anything within the team environment. It is the worst shit that you can do in a team. Worst shit. It's the worst shit you can do. If everybody's just sitting there like, yeah, okay, I'll just listen to you. I'll do whatever you say. Because it's like, bro, like you have like so many minds in the room. You have to combine your ideas and thoughts so that you can get to the best possible conclusion.
Needed him for that team to be good. Yeah, so with
so like for example, Inspire, I want to shout out Inspire because I think that Inspire, one thing he does exceptionally well is like I would not have to tell him anything about his Sentinel utility because he's got that shit figured out, you know? So like if I was saying like, yo, like what are you doing, bro? We need info trips. Then it's like he's going to be like, "No, bro. I know they're going to rush my bomb site. That's my reading around. I'm going to throw these pieces of utility regardless." You've worked with Inspire? No, I've never worked with Inspire. But I know that just from his character and who he is as a person and from what I've seen from him. Didn't you say that about Busio? Well, yeah, but I think that's like, it's like how people start in teams. People usually start when they join a team to be kind of a yes man. And over time, like you get a bit more comfortable and you need to confront problems. Not every team can always have this kind of environment though. You know what I mean? Just because I'm going to say it before he even says it. Just because you experience success one way doesn't mean that every team environment works the same way. Because I've been on teams that are like, for example, TSM is a bit more cutthroat, a bit more like killer instinct, like killer mindset. That like everybody's kind of like they're gonna tank it if you're yelling at them or like saying something like really aggressive. But some team environments really don't work that way. Like you have to be like pretty attentive to like people's emotions, how you're saying things, or there will be a lack of trust when you start losing games. People are just gonna like deflect hardcore. So we know exactly how Inspire is. We know exactly how he communicates. And it's like, if you do it one more time, you're off the team. What the fuck? Nah, there's no way that can be the whole story, no? That sounds crazy. Whoa. They just wanted him out and look for a reason? Like, maybe. Because that's mental, man. There's no way. Bro, one time is nuts. Like, one time is nuts. If it actually genuinely was like that, and yeah, as like a disclaimer for sure, we'll never know like the full story or the full context. There's always two sides to the story. But it's like, what is this? Let me see. Oh, this is a deleted tweet. I wanted to show this earlier. Sunner said, telling 10% of the story means anything can be true. If you believe that a player is getting benched at tier 1 level for being late one time, I have a bridge to sell you. I mean, I think that he's at least explaining more context. But, I mean, we'll never truly know. And I'm going to keep watching the video, obviously, but we'll never truly know like the exact situation. But I will say, I've worked with, like I said, I've worked with some players that are extremely, like what I'll perceive as toxic, in the sense that, especially like players that hurl like personal insults. I think like, you know, the way you communicate, it does matter a lot. It does matter a crazy amount. Okay, what I will say, I've had these kinds of conversations, but I will say I've never even one time said that you will be benched if you do it again off of the first time that this happens. It would have to be like, bro, I'm setting an expectation now. We've got to improve. They know how Inspire communicates already as an individual. If you know how someone communicates as an individual, you have to meet them where they are, not where they need to be. You know what I mean? You meet them where they are and you say, okay, we're going to slowly like pull back. We're not going to say, never yell at another player ever again or you're getting benched. That's crazy. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. That is fucked. Yeah, because that's definitely what happened. I mean, King Fred, to play devil's advocate to your point, that could have been what happened. I mean, both people have like their perception of how situations played out. Who's to say that Inspire's wrong here? Who's to say that Stunner's right there? It easily could have happened. Easily could have happened. That even if Inspire had a few instances where he was yelling to try to solve problems and that's how he perceived success in his brain, like the best way I can describe, okay, when you walk through a forest that nobody's ever walked through before, you guys have this like picture, right? You have like the machete, you're chopping down the shrubbery to like carve a path, right? To go down that path. When you've experienced success, you already have a path. You have a path where you know this works for me. If you're to now force somebody into a new path, it's like the path is just going to be... I have to wait for the ads. I'll wait for the ads, but the path is just going to be unclear. Like people are not going to know how to like navigate a different path. Like that's just a reality of how human nature is. You experience success one way, you're going to go through it that way. So for Inspire, it's like if he found success in confronting his teammates, even like without changing his tone, like as a coach and as a person developing Inspire, you would want to give them tools to help them on that journey, you know? That journey to improvement. You guys are funny. I think the only concrete thing to take away from this is that Rossi wasn't involved and people need to stop saying he's a team killer. Inspire's only gripe with him was that he was too agreeable and too afraid to speak his mind, which is the opposite of what people's narrative of him is. Yeah, I'm kind of with that 8-bit ducky from what I've heard thus far. What I've heard thus far is the biggest problem with Rossi was he came in with a little bit of ego, came in with maybe a lot of bit of ego, who knows? But it wasn't even like he was like tailoring things to be his way. It's just more so like he was just a yes man. Which, to be honest, if you have a team of yes men, I don't think you can really compete at the highest level. That's just like a fact of the matter. You need to at least have people on the team that challenge thought processes, improve the team. You have a team with possibly the closest thing to pure X DNA, and you choose to put them into a G2 Fnatic system after it was already proven is not working. I think the thing that, okay, can we, I think we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this envy, aggression, PRX kind of super like puggy playstyle thing. Guys, like the core of that team and why they were so aggressive was Kane Zera and Ion. These two players loved running it the fuck down. When those players are not on the team, it is a different system. It's just a different team. It's a different system. To be fair, they picked up Kesnet, so Kesnet is a bit of that like kind of run it down kind of guy a bit. But like, bro, I mean, yeah, the team will change like naturally. And when they were rushing, they won 2 overs MIBR. Nah, 37 Mai, you should rewatch that game. Rushing had nothing to do with their win against MIBR. If I go back and watch that game and show you, it was quite literally them walking around the map taking contact duels only. That was why they found success in that series. It's just a different playstyle. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's like a playstyle that fit like individual play and space advantage and contact play. It's like they had so little util, the only thing they could do was walk at them and just take duels. Not really trialing to see who fits the identity kind of messed up as well, though. Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty mismanaged, but...
You have me on like a leash.
All right, here we go.
Like I lose that leadership role. And so that context is important because... So we get into the VCT season.
Okay, where I think that he should take accountability, though, is that like also he can still have his impact. He can still have it, like, even if a coach came to me and said, yo, You're not allowed to yell at people or you're off the team. I would still try to have my impact. Actually, it's kind of hard. If he drops the ultimatum, it's kind of hard to voice your opinion. That is pretty fucked. The ultimatum is pretty fucked. If it literally was under the context of like, yo, you're going to get kicked from the team if you yell at people, and like any version of confronting is like perceived as yelling, yeah, that's pretty fucked. He had Hastro in the meeting. Bro, the CEO of the company is at the meeting where he's getting told he's going to get benched if he's... You know what's actually interesting? Okay, I know exactly what's happening here. Unironically, I know exactly. I feel like I know exactly what's happening here. I guarantee you, Inspire probably... This is my speculation, okay? Speculation. Inspire has probably been doing this for a very long time. Privately, there's probably been a lot of conversations behind Inspire's back about the way he communicates. So what's not really talked about here, obviously, is how the communication is going. So like, if you're constantly confronting things, that's one thing. But if you're constantly confronting things in a very negative way, that is very, what's the word? Aggressive, personal insulty, something like that. Like, and over time, obviously, you end up like kind of building resentment towards said person. That in the background, all of these conversations will be happening where you guys are, you know, talking about the situation, whatever. Combative, deconstructive. Yeah, it's like just a lot of those kinds of conversations. Like, I'm sure in the background, they've had this thought for a while, but what this feels like to me is that Stunner doesn't constantly talk to Inspire. With my toxic players, I've had to nonstop talk to these guys to help them slowly like fix the bad habits rather than having the approach of, if I was Stunner, talking to like Rossi and being like, yeah, man, this guy's got this problem. Like, man, it's like, fuck, man, this guy is just so aggressive when he argues. And then like over time, you know, you have more of these like complaining conversations. Then you end up talking to the CEO. Like I'm imagining now, I'm Hastro talking to Stunner, and Stunner's not really confronted him because he's afraid to confront the issue with Inspire. And then, you know, Hastro comes in and says, bro, you can't just get rid of this guy without having a conversation with him. Why don't we be in the room together and tell him, yo, if this keeps happening, then that's why an ultimatum came in, because it's been like a longer process. Does that make sense? Like the fact that they brought in Hastro makes it so it feels like that vibe where it's like they've just been feeling this way for a long time based on how he confronts people. And then that's why the big guns are randomly in. I don't know. It's kind of how I feel about it. Because I'll be the one to say it, bro. In early days in my career, I made the same mistake, bro. I work with toxic players. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. Like, I don't want to. Like, this guy's an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm like a young kid coaching, like back in the day, I'd be like, man, this guy is such an asshole. I don't want to work with this guy. In the same way, like a player wouldn't want to work with another guy. Names, give us names. No, of course not. What the hell? But it's like when you, over time, learn and you play with these players that are like truly great, but they're just perceived as a bit more toxic. They don't communicate well with their teammates. They let emotions take over. You do just have to talk to them all the fucking time. You just have to talk to them all the time. Help them improve on it. Bro, the way that you confronted him there, that's not good. You can't be doing that, bro. Oh, sorry. I'd say it's Stunner's fault then. He didn't confront him well. Inspire looks like he's got so much passion. He gets mad so easily. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination, right? It's definitely a combination because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you have to be a pretty aggressive person in the way that you confront for people to not want to confront you. Like, it's never as simple as it's just one guy's fault. You know what I mean? Like, true, W passion, but at the same time, it's like, bro, I have a very simple question. Who's Stunner? It's the head coach of Envy. Someone says, motherfuckers were getting scared by Inspire. It's not like you're physically scared like he's going to beat your ass. It's like you don't want him to explode so that he's not affected for like matches. He's not affected for like the like relationship. You're not afraid of him beating your ass, literally. Like, bro, that's not how it works. It's like you're in a team environment. You're trying to win, bro. He punched FNS though? No, that was Verno. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Bro, I wish... Wait, that's kind of crazy. What? Wait, he could just come to prac late. Guys, it's not 60 hours per week. Guys, it's not 60 hours per week. It's per month, bro. You guys are like, per week is crazy. No shit, he's got 2 full-time jobs. Bro, that's more than a full-time job. He's doing overtime in his second job. Fucking hell. Maybe 60 minutes per fucking day. 2 hours a day. Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, for context, I haven't heard of a contract in a while that has streaming as like a must. I mean, as you know, most pro players these days like don't even stream. Only some of them do, and it's only really if they want to stream. So it's kind of interesting to know that Envy has that in their contract. Dan says, what do you mean? Dan, you never turned on your stream one time. I don't want to hear that you have it in your contract. He said it was for a bonus? Yeah. We all got that clause. Dan, there's just no way. At least it was never enforced. If it is in the contract, it was never enforced. Not even one time. Bro, Dan is never going to stream. I don't care how many clauses you put in his contract about like streaming. He's going to tank the fines. Ellen's fire not buying coffee for his teammates when he's late. You know, that is like a system that some people have, guys. That is actually a system that some people have. I think that if he wants to be a good teammate, he just buys the coffee, takes the L, and moves on. Teams do have that system. Like, funny enough, it's like, bro, like, if somebody's late, they're in charge of buying the coffee. That's just, it is what it is. Like, just fucking buy it, bro. You're joking, right? No, I'm not joking at all. If it's a misunderstanding situation and the head coach, I mean, I will say, if I'm to say the entire thing, by the way, I think that it's crazy getting pressed on a, it's crazy at all that he's getting pressed from a misunderstanding situation. But like, the thing is, if you already have a system in place, if guy's late, then you do the thing. And if they said it clear enough, like if I was in Stunner's position and he was wrong, like you would still like, you'd honor the rule. You know what I mean? Because you need to like set the precedent for the other people. Unfortunately, as a Sigma alpha male dominant testosterone guy, I cannot buy coffees for my teammates because that would reduce my aura. I mean, but the thing is, it's like, I will say, what is bullshit, there's a few things that are wrong here. You can tell based on his attitude in regards to the team system that he refuses to buy coffee. It's just like, bro, like, it's such a small ask, to be honest. It's such a small ask, to be honest, to like uphold like a team system. If it's a problem within the team and I'm late, I'm buying everyone coffee, even if it's perceived as he is late. Technically speaking, he should be there 12 for the warm-up time, because like, what if the warm-up time is, I mean, I don't know. There's so much missing context, bro. What if like Stunner wanted him there for the 12 warm-up time? Even though he's technically already warming up, he wanted to like have that flexible warm-up time as a way to go over lineups with people or something like that. Because once again, these systems, these details, it's all fucking all over the place. Warm up for VOD review? Okay, that's a little brain dead. I'm not gonna lie. If you warm up for VOD review, that is a little brain dead. What up, Exter? Yo, Exter, when you guys warm up, yo, wait, by the way, really? You don't have Inspire's back? Hold on. Let's hold on 1 second here. So, Exter, what comment do you have here? I never once got coffee from anybody. Wait, so you're telling me that what the fuck is the point of this coffee rule then?
But
it just already, based on what I'm seeing and listening to, it's like, bro, like Stunner, it sounds like Stunner was so fed up already with this relationship. He was like waiting. He was waiting for the day that like things happened so that he could like make it official. You know what I mean? That's at least how it feels based on his side of the story here. Because like I said, I feel like when you have a talk, I'm going to use the word toxic, not in a way that's like, because I don't know how he acts within the team environment actually, but when you have a player that's more aggressive and passionate in the way they communicate, then yeah, it's hard to confront them. It's hard to actually have a real conversation if the coach was afraid to talk to him and wasn't talking to him all the time, animosity would build up. Conversations behind the scenes would be happening where people are more complaining about the person without actually bringing it up to them. And then over time, you do get kind of caught, like fed up, and it's all bottled up, and then it's one big. Can I add, by the way, okay, I need to add this, by the way. No one in VCT would be 30 minutes late without knowing. Does that make sense? How do you pull up to the facility 30 minutes late and then you're like, by the way, you're 30 minutes late? Bro, like somebody's going to be like messaging you instantly, like, 3 minutes pass. Yo, what's up, bro? Where are you? Like, bro, there's no way nobody on the team messaged him. Bro, like if anybody on my team is even like a few minutes late, they're not at the facility, I would have messaged him probably like 10 times by that point. He lives 5 minutes away. Yeah, it's like, bro, like I'm telling you, it's like set up for failure, bro. They need to keep it quiet for the coffee. You think they're just angling for the coffee? Stunner just loves coffee, man. What can we say? Bro really wanted his coffee that day. Honestly, I'm kind of the same without coffee, if we're being honest. Also, by the way, this thing about people being late to scrims, this happens so often. It's disgusting. There's a joke. There is actually a joke that we say all the time. You've probably heard me say it on stream. VCT players will be in my chat at 3:10, and I'm going to say to them, when do 3 p.m. scrims start? That's the joke. When do 3 p.m. scrims start? Oh, because they're typing in my chat at 3:10. For whatever reason, like I'm telling you, some of these VCT teams do not care about being on time. I say it to the 100 Thieves guys all the time when they're here.
Like, I'm getting,
because that is a question, by the way. Whenever it was like 3:02, if I'm feeling especially angry on the day, then I will say, when do 3 p.m. scrims start? Is this why 100T was always late when I scrimmed y'all? That would probably be boosty. That would probably be boosty. I'm not gonna lie, if the culture is pretty lenient on like people being late, then it is kind of whack to like hard pressure people about being late. Because I'll be honest, I've been part of teams that are like super pressed on this kind of thing. I've been part of teams that like don't care about people being late that much. So I at least understand his viewpoint from that perspective. I think this is actually an interesting thing to talk about. This is an interesting thing to talk. I think this might be the most awkward thing that has to happen in esports. Okay, but like think about okay. Try to envision. Let's play a role playing game here. Okay, you are the GM of an organization. You need to bench a player. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking call them. You're like, oh, by the way, you're gone, bro. Don't even show up to the office. Like, that's fucking disrespectful. That's actually disrespectful, no? But it's so weird. It's so weird because you have to like call them in, but like if you tell them come into the facility, isn't it the weirdest situation? This happens, by the way, all the time. This happens all the time. It legit happens all the time. Yeah, exactly. You don't break up over text. Exactly. And you don't break up over a call. Just say, no, I need you to come in and have a meeting about the incident with Stunner. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny that they're role-playing like he's going to scrim. Isn't that like, that's kind of devious. That is kind of devious. But you are like also like just saying like, hey, yo, like we have a meeting, like come in at this time. But like, what if the person just says no? What if the person just says no? I guess that's like what they were worried about and why they felt like they just needed to like do some like role play to be able to get him in. Yeah, bro, you're going to play tomorrow. Like things are going to be different this time around. For sure. Things are going to be different. Come on in. That's so fucked. I mean, to be fair, like things were definitely different when he went into the office that day. I mean, Xer, you wanna call, bro? You want to have a comment on this, or is that what you're implying with your Yeah, okay. I didn't think so, Xer. I didn't think so. Okay, what I will say, Bro, this is like a weird thing. Like when there's like animosity in the air and like a coach has just benched somebody, it's not easy. Like it's not easy for someone to interject. You know what I mean? Bro, it's just really not easy. Sounds like an ego coach getting annoyed by an ego player. I mean, TLDR, yeah. Just sounds like these two had a terrible relationship. I think the number one thing you can do when you go into a team that you have a guy that's like this, that clearly doesn't communicate perfectly. Bro, if you're the coach, you need to become like best friends with this player so you can find a way to mitigate and improve the player as much as possible. Also, I'll be honest, there's so few players that would talk up in this kind of scenario. There's so few players that would ever speak up.
Like,
what if he showed up day 2 with coffee, like the day that he got benched? He shows up with coffee. Guys, I'm sorry I was late. I'm a changed man. I'm ready for scrims. We have a meeting.
I'm sure Exter and Poppin, like,
this time's going to be different. But okay, what I will say, he's probably extremely passionate. Yeah, he probably really wants to win, and he sees all of these downsides of like the team environment, and his only, thought process is my amount of passion should translate into me calling all of these mistakes and things out as much as I see it, and that my passion extends past like being a yes man. You know what I mean? Bro, like if he can't acknowledge, like I can see without even being in the team environment, he has a crazy amount of communication like issues. Crazy level. Bro, for saying that too passionate, that's nuts, man. That's actually nuts. Like W confronting issues. My number one thing, I say this every single team that I join, is being open and honest. And based on that criteria, Inspire is a great player to have within my kind of culture. But just because you're open and honest doesn't mean that you're communicating in a good way. Like, you can't fucking have your teammates talking behind your back and shit. And I think that the way that he communicates is probably the root cause of a lot of his problems here. Like I said, I can fully see the world. Like, it makes too much sense to me because I've lived this life. When I was in League of Legends in the early days, you have this young kid, he's really passionate, really toxic. Like, in the sense of like, he's always going to tell you exactly what's on his mind. Always, no matter what. And over time, there is just animosity that will build. If he doesn't communicate well, and you don't have someone on the team that's like keeping in touch with them all the time, animosity is going to build. And who, like, guys, when you have a player like this on your team, do you think those players are going to go to that player and be like, hey man, I think that the way that you communicated with me was not very correct there. Like, if you could instead be a little less judgmental, or no, fuck no, man. Fuck no, no player's doing that. I guarantee you what happened is that Stunner and him never talked to each other. They had a bunch of built up animosity over time. Stunner was so frustrated and fed up with it. He goes to management. Yo, I want to make a change. Management says no. Well, have you confronted him about this yet? And then he has to sit there and be like, no. And then Hastro probably said, bro, we're not going to surprise a player by benching them because you haven't confronted them about this problem. And then they go to him. They say, yo, you have to fix this or it's going to be a problem. And then that's when, it comes up one more time and then it's over. I can fully see that reality happening. Somebody asked, did you coach Dardoch? I did, yes. And for what it's worth, I actually spent a lot of time with Dardoch individually for this kind of same reason. Because I knew that like Dardoch kind of he had that like identity about him where it's like, yeah, he is like a player that you have to kind of like work on how he communicates with his teammates. But I mean, he definitely improved over that time. I don't want to talk about like all the instances of everything going on there, but I mean, with Dardoch, we were literally like the number 1 ranked team. And then, stuff happens, whatever. But it's just like, it's one of those things though, man. Like, it can just boil down to like, if it's not managed well, it can just kind of go kaboom. What team was that? It was like CLG in 2017, 2018. He's got the wrong takeaways, chat. It's just such the wrong takeaways. If his solution is he needs to find a balance between like his passion versus like hiding his emotions, like, bro, that is the fakest takeaway of all time. What bro needs to do is he needs to pick up a book at the store named Crucial Conversations so that he can learn how to confront people in the proper way. I mean, bro, I would love, by the way, can I add, I would love to work with a player like Inspire that does actually have like raw passion, and he is extremely vocal about what he wants people to improve on. By the way, all of the great players I've worked with have this trend. Like Bjergsen, as an example, is very forthcoming with things that he thinks are done incorrectly, but he communicates it in a way that helps you improve. And like, even if at sometimes it's like he doesn't communicate it perfectly, he's going to then fix it and start communicating it perfectly. I feel like he was scared to even confront anyone, even in a proper way, because it was being taken in an aggressive way. Yeah, I mean, that's like an effect of the problem over time. Because his situation has like developed and been like the same without any development for, you know, however many years they were working together. Like, yeah, I mean, people on the team probably just got used to it and they probably built some level of animosity, probably thought he was never going to change. He's now dealing with everyone's perception of him as well, so it's hard to even criticize normally. Exactly, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, you need to be able to improve on those things. Like, once again, I like that he's open and honest. I think it's a very good trait. If he develops it in the right way, then I think it could help him a lot. The problem is, it seems like his takeaway is he should just shut the fuck up, which is ironic considering he said the same thing about Rossi coming in and being a yes man. Isn't that kind of troll that he would say that Rossi shouldn't be a yes man, and that one of the biggest issues he had is that Rossi's a yes man? And then he's gone and said that he should have been less passionate and more of a yes man. Like, what the fuck is that takeaway? In the end, he lost his job because he didn't buy Starbucks. That is crazy. I gotta have less passion, I gotta be more of a yes man, and I gotta buy somebody Starbucks. That's how we keep the job. What a crazy, crazy episode that one was. Zikz, can you just build with Inspire? I mean, if I'm on the same team as him, I'll be building with Inspire. Wow, that was pretty insane. That was unreal, man. That was unreal. What is that work environment though? Do they come to prac and not talk at all? I think that there's some really crazy like hidden issues there. There's like a crazy amount of different like issues that are like just all alluded like within that story. Like as somebody that's been in team environments since 2014, bro, I can tell you there are infinite red flags in there. I've already said the TLDR so many times. This had to be something that was building, guys. It just had to be. The relationship with Inspire and Stunner must have been not very good. But if you have like a person that's hard to communicate with on your team, like you have to... One of my favorite quotes that one of my GMs used to say all the time is that the only way out is through. And it's like such a good quote, man. Such a good quote. That really helped me solve like the majority of my problems. Like when it came to like team play. Because it's like, man, like if you have a guy that's like just a problem person in your eyes, like you just have to help fix that. Like you have to help fix that individual. You can't just go and like complain behind their back because it's like easier to do. That's just fucking whack. Did you see the BCJ tweet? No, let me see. Rankers envy Valorant is the living proof that VCT promotion doesn't work. You still get recycled players who don't deserve it, taking spots from the next generation of pros. Don't even get me started on their coach who cheated in the past to get his team qualified for the biggest PUBG LAN. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. What about G2, XLG, Nongshim using a poorly run team as an example seems like cherry picking. I mean, that's pretty valid. That is kind of like, how did Stunner cheat? I have no idea. He cheated on some LAN in PUBG. All parties involved handled this situation horribly. Yeah, TLDR, I think that this was just like Stunner and Inspire not having actual conversations with each other. As stupid as that sounds, there's no way you are... Okay, the way I view my teammates on any team that I participate in, it's like I genuinely... I will love the person that I team with. And I will talk to them no matter what. If I see that there's something they need to improve on, I will be nonstop talking to them. If I think that they're affecting the environment negatively, the first thing I do is I'm going straight to that person. But you have to figure too, Stunner and Inspire were teammates for a while. If Stunner held this opinion of Inspire for a very long time and he never addressed the issue and never tried to work with him on it, that's how I could see this playing out this way. Does that make sense? Because if you're close with Inspire and you're just talking to them like every single day, it just kind of makes sense. Like you're just gonna over time fix the problem, and there's no world that Inspire should ever be surprised. Like there should be no world that Inspire's surprised to be in a meeting where they're saying like you can't communicate this way. Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, winning and how you experience success, it really is kind of like a path. You've already carved your own path out in how you experience success, so it's so hard for people to deviate from that. So it makes sense that Inspire would feel like he needs to be extra vocal and just always calling things out to be able to get the result he wants. The fact that at one point Inspire says the only accountability I can take is that I'm too passionate. Yeah, I mean, that's a rough one, bro. That's like a rough thing to say for sure. That is actually like the thing I said before, the job interview, what's your weakness thing. Do you think he was baiting Inspire so he could replace him with Demon 1? No, I don't think he was. But I think that it's like he was just fed up with it over time.